everyone. This is Pat Barrett. I'm talking to you today from our site, Women's Radio 2. This is our new site, and also from YouTube. So I am so delighted. We've plotted our course to keep this to the end of the year. There's a good reason for it. My conversation today is going to be with Mari-Lyn Harris. And Mary-Lyn is a doula for people who are coming to the end of their time on planet Earth. And the reason we saved it is because so many people leave around Christmas time, about those last 2 weeks in December. So there are things that we can all do to be prepared, and we should. And so Mary-Lyn has come to our aid in helping people get a glimpse about how they should do it, what they should do, and why they should do it. It's my pleasure to welcome Mary-Lyn Harris, to welcome Women's Radio. Hi, Mary-Lyn.
Hi, it's so pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on the show, Pat. I so appreciate it.
I appreciate you doing it. You know, a lot of people don't tackle subjects like this. We tend to tackle things that women are doing, and this has traditionally been like a women's thing to do. I'm sure there are men who also do it, but
yeah,
I haven't met them yet.
Well, it's just an unusual thing. That's what we would say.
It is unusual. And I think, you know, and the people that work in hospice, and now that's actually an industry. People, a lot of women were doing that out of the kindness of their hearts, more or less like what you're doing.
Right. Right.
So, and I like the story that you told me about really what prompted you to begin to do this. And it's largely a public service that you're doing.
Right. Yeah. I just firmly believe I'm a certified end-of-life doula, and I've had my own experiences with end of life with people. And I just, I'm not doing it, you know, the business per se. I'm available if somebody wants some help, but I'm more or less doing other things. But in the meantime, I really think that the information that we're going to share today is very important.
Well, I know that I like the story because it points up how important it is to get your affairs in order. So why don't you share that story of your
Sure. Well, I had a friend, and he had pancreatic cancer. He was fourth stage. And I would phone him up and every once in a while and say, "Can I do anything for you?" And he says, "No, I'm doing good." And I said, "Well, I'll tell you what, you reach out to me when you're ready." And so then I became his power attorney for his financial affairs. And then one day I said to him, I said, "You know, do you have a will?" And he said to me, "What the hell do I need one of those for?" And I said, "Well, you've asked me to run your businesses after you go and everything else, and anything else that populates. I need your permission." That's basically what you're telling me, or telling somebody else if I have to prove it. So he said, okay, go get it signed, bring it, and I'll sign it right away. He died the next day after he signed it. So that was just like, oh my gosh, if he hadn't waited to sign it, then we'd be, you know, in trouble. So
we would be.
You know, so anyway, so that's why. Yeah.
I had trouble after my husband died because while I was legally married and had his legal name, I didn't use that in business. And so people didn't know me as that. So I had to make sure that I used it after that. And I had to carry the death certificate around, and I had to prove just a lot of things that I don't think everybody has to prove. But you don't realize unless you somebody out of the kindness of their heart helps you in some way or another, you don't always know everything you're going to need or that someone else is going to need in your absence. So that's why this is so important. So what are some of the things that you could tell all of us about being prepared?
Well, one of the things I really stress is that get your 5 wishes in order. You can go to 5wishes.org and pull down the book or order a book. You can do it online. And what the 5 wishes really tell is like telling people what your wishes are at your end of life. Maybe you have, it's also could be considered doing your health directives. That's a different document, but you need to know your health directives, what you want your doctor to know, Do you want to be resuscitated if you're in just dire need, or do you want to just let that go? The 5 wishes are about telling your family, your friends, what you want to have at your end of life. Maybe you're writing up your own memorial service or eulogy or whatever it is that you need to say. But anyways, the 5 wishes are very important. And then the other thing is too, somebody said to me, well, I was an accountant and, you know, you don't need a will as long as you have all your beneficiaries lined up at your bank account. Well, yeah, but sometimes you have other things. And then for some people who have real estate and all that stuff, I'm not talking about cars, I'm talking about real estate, you also need a trust. So some people, they say you could do your trust yourself, but due to my limitation, I will tell you to get a lawyer to help you with your trust because they know the information. I don't know the information. So,
And it's not
but
the same in every state, is it?
no, it's not the same in every state. And you can get a free will by going to freewill.org and download the piece of paper and just fill it all out. And then it's just a very simple document to do your will and then have your 5 wishes on top of that. So the 5 wishes is really more for you and your family and your people that care about you to make sure they know what you want at your end of life. So that's the
Mary-Lyn,
five
this is
wishes.
really, really good information. I know I've been trying to pull some of my own information together, having had to try and operate businesses
Yeah.
without information that I depended on from my husband and my partner.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it just, if there's anything that you're doing and your partner or your loved one or whoever
Yeah.
is the one with half the information, you
Mhm.
better get it down in writing somewhere
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
record it on a device or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's grueling to try and do all of those things with no information and no
Yeah.
real, in my case, no talent for technology particularly.
Yeah. 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 I think, and then the biggest thing, really, reason why we're doing the show at this time of year is that basically more people die between Christmas and New Year's. And it's not because they maybe planned it or they just got sick or whatever. It just seems to be this is a high season for end of lives to people to transition out. And then the other thing about as an end of life doula, um, they help you and the family come together and honor the person that's leaving. So it's
Oh,
not
that's good.
just, doing the paperwork. It's also about the emotional support. End of life doulas can help with their families. There's a birthing doula and then there's
Yes,
now end of life doulas, right? So I'm on the
I
other
think it's
end,
great.
so it's just another somebody that provides emotional support to the families for somebody who's maybe getting ready to make their transition, or maybe they've already made their transition and they just want some extra support after that. So that is why you would have a high end of life doula. Yeah.
I think having gone through that um, I don't know how people do it alone.
Hmm.
I think it's far more impactful emotionally than people think it's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then there you are standing out on a hill alone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
it is. And then you said that you have found a lot of doulas listed in LinkedIn. Is that right?
Yeah, there's a lot of doulas on LinkedIn. There is also the gal I took the training with. She also has a list of, if you've gone through her courses and you're certified, she also has a list of people that can say you can find them on her website. And I can give that information to you later so you can post it. But
Okay, that'd be
yeah,
great.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Well, what else do you think are things that people might not think about or that they might need or they might need to do and whatever. I mean, things that maybe
Yeah,
people
I
don't
think
know.
when you talked about a minute ago about business, so business, It's a different thing. Like I said, my friend had two businesses. He wanted me to run them after, and I was very fortunate. He had two friends that I was able to talk to and just say, okay, you're taking over the business. What do you need from me so you can do that? And then the other guy he couldn't do what I was doing, cleaning up the mess after, because he did no planning. There was no planning about anything, no paperwork. And what I
Oh, dear.
found during the COVID, they're a little bit stricter. But what I found is that my name would have to be in on the articles of incorporation to actually have access to that money that was in his business. But one of the other guys, their names were on it, so they were able to access the information that I couldn't get. But yeah, like you're saying, I just wrote out a letter and included a copy of the death certificates to all his creditors, and just said, hey, like, he's no longer with us. I'm just letting you know, here's the information. But that was just how I did it, because I didn't know any better. Like, there was really no books available to tell me how to do it. And so that's why I wrote a book about it. It's about preparing your legacy. So you can write all the information in a book and know what to do, and it tells you what you need to have in there. So that's available too. But so there's so much information, like, end of life, things you need to consider, like you said, the 5 wishes, do you want to, and the health directives, usually once you hit 65, the hospital or your medical services will send you a letter and say, please tell us what you want the health directives to be. Do not resuscitate, or do you want to be resuscitated? So there's, a lot of information the hospital or your health services will send you, just so that at 65 you're going to get that. But like I said,
That's
every
interesting.
state is different. Every state is different too, right? Yeah.
Well, I hope that this season is going to be a joyous one for you,
Yes.
and that
Yeah.
maybe you won't be called on.
Well,
But if you are, I know that you're going to make it easier for other people. And thank you for your
yeah.
service.
Thank you so much. But thank you so much for this time together. I appreciate it. And we'll have another conversation soon, I'm sure.
I
Thank
think
you.
that that's true. We'll come
Yeah.
back to it a little bit later.
Yeah.
And is there a place where people could get in touch with you, Mary-Lyn?
Yeah, sure. They can call me, or they can go to my website, heartatworkonline.org, or
And
just phone
that's
me.
Heart, Heart,
AORT.
Heart at
At
Work. I
work.
love your name.
Heart at Work, and it's online because I can't get Heart at Work, but heartline.org. But anyway, yeah, so you can reach me out there, or you can call me. I'm sure below the video that Pat will put all the information there if you need to reach out, or you just need somebody to walk you through a few things. Yeah.
Very good. Well,
Okay.
thank you so much, Mary-Lyn.
Yeah,
Have a
you're welcome.
wonderful, happy, joyous, and healthy end of this season and
Yeah,
beginning of the
you
next.
too. You
Thank you.
too. Okay, happy holidays.
Happy
Okay,
holidays.
bye.